Today, we are given the motion this House would abolish prison. Abolish prison makes society safer and more human. Prison only cage rather than support communities by ensuring their across to food, shelter, education, healthcare, and freedom. We should consider new ways other than prison to make our communities suffer more sustainable, healthier, and more successful for all. Let me explain my first point, quality of life. Prisons do not provide the minimum standard of healthy living. For example, United States Department of Justice reported that there is over 8,210 cases of sexual abuse in prison. 80% of women were sexually abused by prison guards. A 60-year-old boy recently committed suicide because he couldn't stand the sexual abuse by many adults. According to the Nikkei newspaper, January 10th, 240 at least 210 prisoners died in Brazil prison because the prison guard violently beat them. In Tokushima, Japan, prison with disease couldn't get enough treatment or medicine, so 6 people died. Those are just a sample of the case when prisoners' human rights are violated. According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25, everyone has a right to standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself, include food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social service, and rights to security in the event of sickness, disability, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. Clearly, prisoners' human rights are avoided. Let me explain my second point. Safer society. Less prison means less crime. More prison means more crime. Let's compare the example of the United States and Finland. According to Andrew Davis, professor at the University of California at Santa Cruz, that tough on crime. Policy of the 1980s in the United States did not produce safer communities or drop in crime rate. It just create more prison that were on drug, create more prison, more crime, and fill prison with drug addicts and non-violent offenders. According to Critical Resistance, only about 1% of 2.5 million people in U.S. prison are there for violent offenses like murder, rape, and pedophilia. Communities with higher incarceration rate are less stable, less safe. Families are breaking up. Communities rely on the state to intervene in disputes that could be resolved by the people themselves. In the state's prison is a violent place that often makes non-violent inmates become more violent. This violent institution only bring about more violence, domestic violence, child abuse, assault beyond the wall of prison. One of other hand, Finland shows us that less prison decrease crime. 30 years ago, Finland had strict prison, like Russia, and one of the highest rate of imprisonment in Europe. Their changes prison system. Over the last 2 decades, more than 40,000 Finns has been spared prison. $20 million costs have been saved, and the crime rate has gone down to low Scandinavian level. Those cases shows us that as less prison makes society safer. Therefore, we should move towards abolishing prison and create a kinder society for all.